Happy Thursday, everybody. I want to welcome you to another episode of Moments of Clarity. And today, man, it's a great day. It's a Thursday for one, but it's a beautiful day. So I hope you guys are enjoying and making the best of your Thursday. Today, man, I'm so privileged to have in the studio with me my boy Barry Brewer, who is the comedian. He's a funny man. So we're going to have some great laughs today. So listen, strap in, tune in, share this live, share these vibes. Join into the conversation. I want you to communicate with us. You can text, you can communicate and send us messages throughout this podcast, and we'll post them here. And we're gonna have a lot of fun today. So listen, prepare to laugh, prepare to have fun. Listen, it's gonna be a great episode of Moments of Clarity today. So listen, strap in, share the live, share the vibes, and listen, it's going down today. So listen, tune in, and let's get ready for another episode of Moments of Clarity. Let's go. Happy Thursday, happy Black History Month, everyone that's celebrating Black History Month, man. And so there's no time like the present to acknowledge, obviously, our forefathers that have paved the way, that have made our lives better. So we want to salute all of those people that have paved the way for us. And so today in the studio, I have my boy Barry Brewer, who is, again, like I said, a comedian, professional comedian. He does this for real. He has a special that's you can see on Amazon or YouTube called Chicago, I'm Home. Ladies and gentlemen, my boy Barry Brewer is in the studio. Barry Brewer, what's up, bro?
What's up, man?
Man, welcome to Moments of Clarity, man. How you been doing, brother?
Thank you, man. I'm well, man. How are you? Thanks for
Man,
having
I
me
am
on too.
great. Man, I am great. I am great. And so happy to have you here, man. And so you've been doing a lot, in spite of all this COVID nonsense. But listen, I always try to
Yeah.
stop and pause, especially if I have a black man on this podcast. I like to stop and pause and ask this black man, this black king, man, how are you doing? There's so much stuff that's going on in the world today. How are you doing?
Thank you, first of all, man. Appreciate it. I'm doing well, man. I am. I try not to let life circumstances uh block me down. That is very important to me. Obviously, you know that you cannot predict what life may bring you in so many different aspects, and especially being a black person, then a black man on top of that. But man, just keep grinding. So I'm doing well, and if I ain't doing well, I'm always saying I'm doing well because that's what I'm speaking into existence. So that's how I
Hey,
move.
man, those affirmations are so very, very important, man. And so, listen, let me start off by saying this. For those of you that don't know, Barry also does a Motivational Mondays, which is a time where he just takes time to inspire all the people that are following him. So, make sure you're following
Thank you.
Barry. Barry, tell me about like what inspired you to jump into this Motivational Monday space.
Uh, Truthfully, man, it's just a part of who I've been my whole life. Just from childhood, just a person who's always, I really give my mom a lot of credit, just always being positive, always optimistic, always trying to look at the silver lining. So as I got older and, journeying this entertainment industry, I was trying to build my brand. And as stand up, just trying to look closer at who I am and how I am and what I'm about. And so that's where Motivational Mondays was inspired by. Like, hey, this is what you're always talking and doing to other people. You should share it to this platform. I was a little reluctant to do it because I'm a comedian and, I'm from the hood. So being from the inner city, you don't often hear people being positive and they always can, I'm from church, love church, but you never see outside of that moment, you don't hear people really talking about life and encouragement and chasing your dreams. And, like motivational speaking was foreign to me. That just sounded like pastor, like a pastor preacher, which it is to some degree. But um, I just wanted to be transparent and a little more vulnerable with who I was. So that's really what Motivational Mondays came from. Me just sharing my truth and as I journey my life, like kind of sharing the things I'm learning along the way, not coming into it like I'm such an expert, but more so my take and my perspective, and hey, these are the tools I've used thus far, and they've really put me in a better place. And prayerfully, hopefully, that something I say can help somebody else be in a better place in their life. So that's the hope, and that's the reason why.
Man, I think that's dope. And your life journey is so unique and it has such a different perspective. And so, as it relates to your life, man, you are an expert. You know what I'm saying? And so, I think that's dope that you are willing to share the life lessons that you are learning on your journey with other people that may pursue the path or consider going down some of the roads that you're traveling. So, I think that's dope, man. And
Thank
so,
you, man.
continue doing that. Definitely follow
Thank you.
Barry because he does do these motivational Mondays every Monday, and you can catch them live. And if you missed it, you can definitely go back and watch all of them. They're always dope. They're always inspirational, and they're always positive. So we got my boy Barry Brewer in the studio, the comedian, the funny man. So as a comedian, so did you always know, like from birth, that you was going to be a comedian, or how did it start?
No, I didn't always know. Um, I love laughing. I learned that early on in life. I remember my grandma irritated with me because all I used to do was be silly and laugh. I never knew that would be a profession or that could be a profession. I admired the heck out of Martin Lawrence as a teenager, and Jamie Foxx. And when I was 19, I was playing the drum for a community choir, and this guy, Andrew, board a shout out to him. Like, man, you should do some comedy for this concert. I was playing for this guy named Jason Miller. They had a concert, a little community choir in Chicago, and I did my first stand-up show there at Bright Star Church of God in Christ on the south side of Chicago, and I got a standing ovation. And from here on out, man, I've been chasing that dream ever since. It's like I always say, I found something I didn't know I was looking for. You know, when you're around 19, you're trying to find out what career you're gonna get in. I didn't go to college, so just trying to find a trade because I was on my own. So trying to find, whatever lifestyle would help me gain some stability. So it wasn't comedy. I know that that's what I chose to go, and it's paid off for me so far.
That's dope, man. That's dope. So somebody gave you an opportunity at a church event to do stand up comedy, and
Yeah,
bro, tell. So what were you saying? What were you saying to get the Saints turned up?
I remember. I remember one of my first main jokes that got the standing ovation was about every church has a Mother Jenkins. Even though that might not be her name, there's a Mother Jenkins at your church, and Mother Jenkins is that woman that smiles in your face and talks about you when you leave. And I think I called her Sister Palmer at the time, and apparently there was a Sister Palmer there. And in the as Mother Jenkins is talking to a Sister Palmer in my act, I'm saying, "Ooh, you look so nice. You love your dress. You coordinated. I like the way you got that plaid and that polka dot matching." And I'm talking as an old lady, and I just got on stage and I'm acting this character out, and they're laughing hysterically. Um, and I found out later on there was actual Sister Palmer at the church. She was not matching that day, and everybody was knowing of it. And so this is their second service at that day. So it was a thing. I guess she had been going around talking about it. So for them to know that I didn't know that and how the joke all came to be, it was just like a eruption in the church. So that was pretty cool. And it just was confirmation, you know, whether how funny I was being was that it was confirmation for that this was what I was meant to do. And God allowed that moment to happen so that I can be encouraged to do it.
That's dope, man. That's dope. So you had an opportunity. So apparently you was always funny because if for someone to see you playing the drums, and so people see you always cracking jokes, and go, hey man, do stand up.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if that's have you always been the dude in the
Yeah.
room that's like, I'm going to turn this room out? Well, you like the trouble? Well, you like the trouble kid in school?
Now, everybody say that. I was troubled kid, but I wasn't the main troubled kid. I was the kid that would say something like when the class is quiet,
Mhm.
when there's an opportunity and it's not a lot of ruckus, I would then make my debut. You know what I mean? At the right, like I was all about the timing. Like like everybody's quiet, we focus. Then I say something crazy and make the laugh erupt. You know what I mean? So in that way, but I wasn't, always on. But I definitely had my moments. I ran into my old high school English teacher, and she reminded me of those those moments that I would irritate her in class. So I was happy to
No,
hear that because who knew it would work out for me.
that's dope, man. That's dope. It's interesting because I was not necessarily a bad kid, but I'm the smart. I'm sort of kind of a smart brainiac. So I would get my work done, and then if the teacher didn't have enough to keep my attention, I'm about to turn up some kind of way. I gotta get it in some kind of way, and
Yeah,
so I sort of kind of imagine you being that same type of person. Like if the
for
teacher didn't
sure.
have enough plan for you to do, you was going to make it a party.
And if it was, it's gonna be a party either way, for
I
sure.
promise you, I get it. I totally understand that. That's exactly who I was growing up. And my friends that are around me always say that I could be a comedian. I have no interest in that. But I write comedy, so I don't necessarily stand up and do it. So
You
where
never,
do you draw
you never
where do you
know,
draw inspiration from though? What do you draw inspiration from as a comedian?
man. Literally every aspect of my life, right? Like from the terrible parts to the beautiful parts to the inconveniences of life and the, relationships. I mean, literally every aspect. Like literally, like if you watch my special, I talk about homophobia. That was from a real place.
Yeah.
Obviously watching the greats, the Richards of the world, like being able to put your truth on stage is not always easy. It's very uncomfortable, but trying to find that medium where you can be honest and still be funny and people can appreciate it. So yeah, it's how I used to feel. I talk about different parts. So every aspect of life really you can turn into the funny. And that's why I've been pulling my inspiration. And definitely as I gotten more mature and as a stand-up early on, you kind of write jokes that you create. I remember one of my first jokes that I wrote was about being a gay disciple, right? And it was that's a gangster disciple, and there's a gang in Chicago called the
I know about it.
Disciples. Yeah, so he would wear pink Timberlands, and I would describe him, and he like GD, GD.
Dog, listen. Oh, that's so funny, man. Because I think you got to be from Chicago, and I'm not from Chicago, but I lived in Chicago for like 10 years, and so I know that life. I get it. So that's crazy funny. I also just
Yeah.
like probably like 3 weeks ago, even before we confirmed this podcast, I saw a bit that you were doing. It may
Oh,
have
the gay
been,
date, the gay
man.
date.
That thing had me in the gay date, the gay date. Man,
Yeah.
that thing had me in tears. I promise you, I had me in tears. I was screaming. I was, this is so crazy because I understood it. I understood it. I got it. I understood it. It was great.
Yeah, and that was from a real story. Obviously, there was a mesh of two stories. One story was actually everything that happened on that hangout was true, but the guy was not gay. Now, I did find
Okay.
out a friend of mine that I hooped with was gay, and so I kind of meshed the stories in because it was really funny. Because I remember one of my homeboys like that dude taking you to the game, and I remember him saying, "You don't think that's weird?" I'm like, "Dude, I didn't know the guy." But I'm like, dudes go to games, and it's funny because that's our thing, right? Basketball is my thing. So, and a it's not a date in my mind. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So if a dude asked another random dude like, "Hey, I got some tickets to a basketball game," your first reaction is like, "For sure, I want to go." You
Let's
ain't thinking,
go.
especially if his demeanor is not very obvious. I'm there. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
I think
Exactly.
that's in hindsight, looking at the joke, I can see why it's so funny because I think most heterosexual men completely see how they would have been exactly me in the situation. You know what I
Oh
mean?
man, 2,000%, bro. 2,000%. So man, I was crying, laughing. I was like, oh my god. And I think it was that. I gotta reach out to Barry. I gotta reach out to Barry because this whole thing just had me just screaming and laughter. So I know. So
Thank you,
you
man.
so that's cool. So So you write all your jokes, which is dope because there are some comedians that don't write all their jokes. And that's cool. You draw your material from your life experience or from your life journey. That's dope as well. So
Yeah,
as a comedian,
yeah, but
while
I don't
you're
mind
making,
having a writer at some point. Let me say
no, I
that.
get it. No, I
I
get
don't want to
that.
make it
Yeah.
like that's a claim to fame. You want to get to a point where you can hire writers. You know what I'm saying? So I look forward to that day. But go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
I actually listen. I know some comedians out there that are making all the money that should have writers.
Hilarious.
I'm serious. Facts. But so as a comedian, you're busy writing material, so you're always funny and you're always funny, obviously to your inner circle. But who then makes you laugh? Who makes you laugh? Who's the person like I can go to this, I can watch this comedian, and I'm gonna guarantee to be
My
laughed.
whole Oh, a comedian. And let me say this: I'm not the funny one in my inner circle. I would say I'm probably more serious off stage than most people would think. People always tell my wife like, "Oh man, I know he just be having you laughing," and we have our moments, obviously, because I'm a comic. But my wife is hilarious, and she's always trying to be funny, which bothers me sometimes. But uh, my favorite comedian to watch it's so many, but without having to pick the popular ones, you would know. So I'll pick the popular ones. I do like watching, Kevin, myself. Uh, but I'm really still with the old school. I still really watch Jamie Foxx and Martin Lawrence, like Sinbad. Like I still go back to those
Yeah.
to the foundation, the Richards of the world, the Paul Mooney's. But
Hmm.
I will say, man, there's so many more funny people out there. There's a lot of new comics that's amazing. I love watching them. Somebody named K Dub, this dude named
Oh yeah.
Henry Coleman, Corey Fernandez, Delay. Um, oh my God, so many. I'm missing names, but so many that I love to watch. My boy Ryan G is hilarious. It's just so many people that's hilarious. It's this girl named Zaynab who's like a friend of mine. She's hilarious. Tyree Lane, like it's Clayton Thomas, my boy. He's like a little brother. It's so many great comics. I pray that I'm trying to work on a platform now to bring back that Def Jam, that Comic View feel where we can really get to see. Because for urban stand up and stand up in general, it's just really you're not seeing a lot of it on TV or networks. You know,
Right.
Netflix will have a selective few that they'll pick to do a stand up show, and whoever's popular to do a stand up special. But I really hope to create a platform where we can bring those that raw new talent to the stage and really get to be introduced to the next generation. That's actually the name of it too. It's called the next generation of stand up.
That's dope, man. I love it. I love it. I can't wait till you produce that and put that out. I think it's needed, and I think, yeah, I think that's
I
phenomenal.
did produce it. I'm sorry. I did produce it. It's coming out on a platform. I just licensed it to a new platform. It's called the Next Generation. I shot 2 episodes of it. It'll be on a new on a platform called Black Oak TV. That's a new streaming service that just launched this past Friday. So shout out to them. Let me say that while I'm thinking about it.
Wow, that's dope, bro. That is dope. And so, how are you adjusting as a comedian that you used to being on the road, you used to being busy, and then lo and behold, 2020 comes and Thug Rona come through and make everything strange. So,
Sit us all down. Sit us all down, right?
yeah, for real, for real.
Man, I've just been trying to do, I shoot sketches, so I've been creating that. Been doing a lot of house projects. Uh, spending a lot of time with family, like not focusing on what you can't do, but seeing what you can do. I think
That's
it's been a blessing for me. Like it feels good for the world for you to sit down for a moment and gather yourself and sit there and come up with your strategic plan. So for me, how often in a lifetime do people get to take a break and nobody's checking for you and everybody's like okay with that? Yeah, that's my thought. So I've really just taken it like that.
That's dope, man. That's the moments of clarity for the day. It really is because I've said a lot on this platform that the coronavirus and the pandemic is a blessing and a curse. Um, It's a blessing that everything is shut down. It's a curse that everything is shut down, but it's a blessing that everything is shut down. So it does make you focus more on the things that matter. And obviously, things that matter are family, associations, tending to your business, those types of things. And so, yeah, facts. That's facts on printer, bro. So yeah, that's facts. That's facts. For real, for real. And so we're having some technical difficulties with Barry. He'll be right back. But listen, that is so, so true. And it's so important that we realize the importance of making sure that we're taking advantage of this time as much as humanly possible. Take advantage of this time to tune into you, to fine tune you, to become the best version of you that's possible. So yeah, I definitely concur with what Barry said. I've been focusing on the things that really, really matter. He's been having more time because he's at home now, spending more time with his family, and that's dope. That's a good, good thing. And so I want to encourage every one of you that may be quarantining, maybe in and used to being busy and used to being all over the place. That is all of us. We're all used to being very, very busy. But it's important that you take advantage of this time, this downtime. If you have the downtime, to focus on the things that matter. You know what I'm saying? To fine tune you, to get to obviously become the best version of you while we're in this process, but also to spend some time with your family, much needed time with your family. So my boy Barry is back.
Yeah,
Um,
sorry. I pressed the
no
wrong
worries.
button.
No worries. It's technology. It's not 100%. So
Oh my God, my bad.
it's all good, bro. No stress at all.
Okay,
No stress
appreciate you.
at all whatsoever. So I want to ask you, as a life lesson, what do you think is probably the greatest obstacle that you had to overcome throughout your career as a comedian that you could probably share with our audience?
Believing it when you don't see it.
That's dope, bro.
Believing, yeah, constantly believing in something that you can't necessarily put your fingers on or map it out and how you get there and still going after it anyway. Something I still, struggle with, but still going to believe it. Like I think that there's certain principles in life that we can apply to every part, whether it be us chasing our dreams, our career choices, our relationships, or whatever. And it's about faith. It's about believing in a brighter or better situation, a better day, or whatever you're truly believing for, or whatever, like really having faith that it'll be okay or that you'll get there. And that your actions show your faith because you're continuing with that attitude and with that demeanor towards wherever you're going. So that would be my little 2 cents.
That's dope. So for someone that aspires to do what you do as a comedian, what talk us through the steps that a person probably should take for someone that aspires to do what you do as a comedian.
Man, it's a great question. I've been getting that question a lot. First of all, I just think you look at what opportunities you have around you. Can you get to open mic if you want to be a comedian? Try to work on a 3 minute set. Start with putting together 3 minutes of material, something you really believe in and you think is hilarious. Say it in the mirror, say it in front of your family. If they don't laugh, you got to get on stage and see because sometimes family know you very well. Get to a live setting, an open mic, a lounge, a little church show, a little hole in the wall, a little bar, whatever. Get on stage, test it out, see what works. Go construct it. Building a set is not easy. It doesn't mean sometimes what you approach and do the first time may not work, but it doesn't mean it's not worth working on. Like, what can I do to make it funnier? Or how can it be funny? Maybe how I approached it wasn't. So what's another? Okay, let me tweak this. Let me change this. Let me get back on stage. Try it again. Continue until you get that 3 minutes strong. Okay, now I got 3 minutes that's been consistently funny. Okay, like, let me add on some 3 more minutes. Let me get 6 minutes. Oh man, I got that going on. I'm cooking with grease. Now I get to 10 minutes. Ooh, I got a fire 10 minute set. Start building on that. 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Now I got my own hour. I can go do an hour of material, you know, and then you keep unloading and you keep building. It's like basketball. Truthfully, it's like you're getting in the gym, you working on your technique, you working on your left hand, or if you're right-handed, you working on your foot. You working and it's like a consistent things that you work on. And the crazy part, just like basketball, I always use basketball. It's the gay day joke. Um, um, like you got to develop your own style. I think sometimes we look at people and we ask them for so much, but sometimes we asking for the blueprint, but there is no real blueprint to being the greatest you can be or being great, because
That's
your
right.
journey is going to be different than mine. Not that I can't give you any tools, but sometimes my way may not work for you. You know, you might be a physical comic, so you might act out or do some stuff where I'm just sitting here holding the mic talking, or
Right.
just all dialogue, and it's
Mhm.
my punchlines just killing. Seinfeld versus Martin Lawrence,
Right.
or George Carlin versus Richard or whoever. Like, it's Richard was funny, but he also had those expressions and the act outs and the characters and the charisma, and he was so animated. Um, so you know, take that all in consideration. But I know that was a lot said, but the one thing I would say is to do it. Make sure you're getting on stage, working on it, and doing it, and staying with it. Not doing it every
Mhm.
blue moon, but staying consistent with doing it. You will definitely get better, and I think you can get to wherever you want to go if you put the work in.
I think that's dope. I think that's great advice. And so most people just see like the final product. Like they'll see like a stand-up special, like, oh man, he just getting up there freestyling, and they don't know that is something that you've worked like months and months on building that material.
Years,
Yeah. So let me ask you
years.
this. What would you say the percentage of what you do on stage, let's say like for your comedy special, is what you worked on, and how much of it is like freestyle in the moment?
The stand-up special that I was doing, that I did, was a compilation of 17 years of stand-up.
Gotcha.
So a lot of that material had been in the oven. An hour of it, I'll say. So 60 minutes, I'll say 40 minutes of it was in the oven for years.
Hmm.
20 minutes of it, maybe 10 freestyle came off the top. There is a bit on there that it came in that moment. I didn't write it, didn't think about it. It just flowed.
Yeah.
Um, some other material I wanted to talk about some politics, so like the Trump joke and stuff like that came very close to my special. The Dubai trip, I just decided to share that story. That was just a true story. So as I was sitting there constructing what I wanted, because a lot of material I didn't use for my stand-up special. I'm doing a show with Kev on stage on the 19th. It's a taping I'm doing February 19th. It's a live show in LA. It's a taping. I'm gonna do some of the jokes that did make the special, because I was thinking like, what jokes I'm gonna do. But so I would say 40 minutes is from years of stand-up, 10 minutes maybe, 5 or 10 minutes of improv, and that was more so in the beginning stages of the special, where I came out more fluid, more like getting kind of in touch with the crowd, and that's usually where I freestyle at a special, but to kind of just connect with the audience and then go into the material. That's a good piece of advice that I've learned, or that I've applied, I should say, in my career, because certain crowds, you sometimes they're not receptive to you just going straight into your material. They want to get to know you, and the more they get to know you, the more they can enjoy your jokes and stuff like that. So that's a great piece of advice to newer comics, to kind of, so you're not so robotic with your material and how you approach it. And I think that's just what public speaking is. I think that's
Absolutely.
good to be that way. Would you agree? Yeah. So
Absolutely. Yeah,
to be
that's
fluid.
dope, man. And so, and we would definitely want, I definitely want to encourage people, especially people that aspire to do this. You got to be good off the cuff. That's just, you got to be good. And so you work
Especially
that.
if African American,
Oh man,
like
you
our
got to
crowds is
be.
different.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Yeah, you got to be good off the cuff, and you got to be good just being able to connect with people. And so, yeah, that's something that. So, do you would you say that's something that you naturally have, or that's something that you had to learn and process?
I think I naturally had it, but I still think it was something I had to work. Can you give me a water, please? Something I had to work. because you can naturally have it in real life as a regular person, but being on stage is different. It's a whole completely different concept of freestyling because these
Right.
people don't know you. It's easy to be off the cuff with your friend and your family. They already familiar with your style and your they already believe that you're funny.
Right.
So
Right.
so you're gonna get it. Thank you so much. You're gonna get a different response from them. So it is definitely a muscle that you develop, and I can honestly say I developed it at my hometown in Chicago. Like being in the spaces where these people don't want to hear what you guys say, so
Right.
you got to get up there and connect with them some way, and you're gonna need to freestyle. And I think people are always impressed by that. Like you just can go in the room and talk about the scenario. I always learn. I go up there and just be honest. You know, if people ain't feeling me, or I could tell they wasn't feeling any other comics that went before me, I talk about it. Like, you know, especially like if it's a paying show, I make them feel I was like, oh, so y'all just gonna come in here and pay money not to laugh? Y'all got money like that? Like make them feel like weird about like, yeah, that is crazy. Like just talk about the realness.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
it's
Right.
like, you know, and I'm like, yeah, y'all not finna tear my dreams down. You know, I'm gonna get up here,
Right.
say these
Right.
little
Right.
jokes. You can laugh if you want to. I'm still gonna believe it. You know, make it funny in that way
Right.
that they kind of say, oh, I think the audience loves realness. They love honesty. They love transparency from a speaker or comedian or whoever. I
Sure.
think it connects with them, and so now they're more likely to laugh at your joke because they
Gotcha.
connect with you early on. So yeah.
Makes sense. So let me ask you this: so when you are doing a show, the connecting obviously is important. Um, but has there ever been a time where you felt like you weren't connecting? So what did you do? Like what did you do in those
I
moments?
took that L. I took that A whooping like a man. What happened?
Oh man.
In the moments I feel like I wasn't connected. And I'm not saying this to like I usually always can get out of it because I never continue to try to convince them. Like, and sometimes it's not a good thing, but I'm always very honest with
Mm,
the moment. I learned that early on in my stand up, and that worked well for me. So if I feel like I'm not connecting or I'm not winning the crowd over, I kind of acknowledge it. And usually in my acknowledgement, I then win them over. Now, I don't usually try to then go back into my material. Once I get a little laugh in acknowledging it, I usually exit. You know what I'm saying? But I've had some shows I'm like, hey, y'all ain't come to laugh. That's cool too. Thank y'all for your time. Thanks for the opportunity. Whoever invited me, man. I hope y'all find some joy in your life. I don't know what's going on with you, but you know, probably shouldn't come to a comedy show right after a funeral or something. I don't know if that's where your spirit. This is what I say. These are things that come to me in the moment that you know, that's the case. Or I mess with somebody in the audience that maybe not looking like they having a good time, or and that's always a good thing. But I don't like to talk about people where it's a negative thing, but make them feel it's a lovely thing. Like somebody could be sitting there looking mean. I'm like, did you come to laugh, sir? You look like you got a lot on your mind.
right.
You know, did you come trying to laugh off your stresses and you just leaving it on your face? You know, whatever. Like
Right. Right. Right.
doing
Right.
stuff like that. And usually those people they'll open up or they'll laugh or somebody else will laugh. You know what I mean? You know, hopefully you because you can find some real people that don't like you to talk to them. I almost got into some altercations doing that too. But you know, and I make fun of that. I was like, this is a comedy show. Did they not tell you that when you walked in? Like this thing,
Right. Right.
you
Right.
know, so people laugh. So that you know, but yeah, and sometimes you gotta just take the L. Just God bless, good night. Like I try again tomorrow.
Right. Right.
Sometimes it's like that.
And I think every real comedian has been in that space where it's like, okay,
100%.
cool.
Yeah.
Tonight they work it. That tonight is easy. Then it's like, oh, this is okay, all right, all right.
It'll happen
That's
to
the
you. It'll happen to you in the same night. You'll have two shows. Like let's say sometimes when comedians tour, we do like two nights Friday, two nights Saturday, and a night Sunday. I was fortunate to tour with some more, one of the queens of comedy, and I've toured outside of that. But I remember one show rocking. First show, it's going crazy. Second show, it's like, what happened? Same sets, coming out with the same energy. These people looking at you.
We ain't
What's
going.
that? We ain't going at all. So it happens like that, and it's the same night. You coming out with the same momentum and the energy. You just rocked the show before, but this crowd is just totally different. So I learned that I would say 75% is on the performer, but the percent there is a big percent on the audience to be open and
That's true.
acceptable, to enjoy the show, right? Because at the end of the day, if you want to sit on me for whatever reason, it ain't nothing I can do to move you. You know what I mean? So
Right. So you've done so many dope things in your career, man. How long have you been doing what you're doing? How long have you been doing it?
it's going on 19 years now.
Bro, man, that's
Yeah.
love, bro. That's dope. That's dope. So you've done so many cool things. You've done movies. So you're in a new situation where you are working with, man, the great Tyler Perry. So how did all that come about?
Man, first of all, yes, sir, man. He's definitely great. That's for sure. Man, I auditioned for the role. Apparently, somebody saw us. Me and my guys, the whole crew, Stupid Sketch went viral, and got an opportunity to audition for this new show called Bruh. And I went through the different points of auditioning, from the casting director to the producers to auditioning for Mr. Tyler Perry himself. And my last audition was right after he opened up the studio. In the middle of my audition, like I didn't even know I was going to get called back, because the second one I saw him, second audition, he was like, "All right, thank you," and it was like nothing else happened. I just walked out the room. Then I got a call back. I was like, okay, and it was just him again with his producer, and I couldn't even get through my lines. He's like, "You got the part. I just needed to see something else. You got it. We're gonna call you. You got it." Like right when I was like auditioning my last time. So it's been a great experience, man. Me, like I was telling you, being a fan of Martin, being able to work on set and get somebody to trust you, to give you some creative freedom to just kind of be a comedian and could be comedic in your role. He allows me that space and that freedom to do that, man. And I think that's one of the most amazing, to be a lead in a show and then to have, I could just do me, and for him to trust me enough to do that is probably one of the most exciting opportunities of my career. So I really appreciate that.
Dude, I think that's dope, and I have watched a few of those episodes, and I can definitely see your personality coming out of this character. I'm like, oh man, that's cool that Tyler allowed you to do you in these moments to bring that funny to those situations. So man, shout out to Tyler Perry, man, for just giving you that creative license to just do you as as a comedian. Obviously, when you come
Yes.
to the space, obviously you got a script in front of you, but you're a comedian, so you have that comedian, that comedic bent, and so
Yeah.
you see things a bit differently. You have a third eye, and you see it a bit differently. And so for him to allow you, like, hey man, if you see funny in here, go for it.
He told me that the
And
first day. He told me
that's
that.
crazy.
He didn't say it that way. He just says, have fun. That's what he told me. He said, have
Okay.
fun. And to me, that was the green light. He said, hey, he
Hey,
said, hey, have fun. That's what he told me. And he's a comedic genius, because
absolutely.
he's the same way. Like, and I don't
Timing. Yep.
think, man, like, as a stand-up, you hear about people, oh, they writers, but to be on set and to hear the lines and when you watch his character Medea, you can tell like his improv is just second to none. So on
Absolutely.
set, he's feeding my mom lines, he's feeding me lines, other people's lines, and he feeds her a lot of lines to see how I'm going to respond to it. So I take it as a opportunity, an amazing opportunity, and it does my heart so much joy to see him balled over laughing at something I just did. So that's always like a win for me to see him laughing at something I do. So I low key be like trying to stay in character, but I be like looking out the corner of my eye behind the cameras to see if I got him
Right.
bent over laughing. So
That's dope.
I love that. Yeah.
That's dope. So there is so anybody that's if you have BET Plus, you can definitely go and watch the show, the first episode or first season rather of the
Yes.
show, bruh. It's on BET Plus. But man, you guys, man, Tyler keeps you guys working, man. So you all have done already two other seasons already?
We did yeah, we have 2 seasons done. One season
Okay.
that's out, and we did season two. So prayerfully, we do another season this year. But yeah, man, he created a bubble where he had over 200 shows he shot, and no positive corona test has came back. Um, and we stayed on the studio. I mean, he just really. I wasn't fortunate to go to college, but it seemed like this is what people said, like the dorms. Like we stayed on the lot. We had food trucks. We had people to help us, and we stayed with the show called Ruthless. So both shows was there at the same time, and we had COVID testing every 2 to 3 days. And but it was just such a great time. It was such a great opportunity. It was different than the first season because we got to kind of live with each other. Like
Right.
everybody lived with each other. So Mr. Perry's living on the lot, right? So you walk outside, he walk past you like, "Good morning." You like, "Good morning,
Right.
Mr. Perry." Wait, he going for a run around right in front of your house because he lived across the street. Like it ain't even across the street; it's like a walkway. And so it just shows you how down to earth he is that he would come and with us live with us, eat with us, commune with us. And this is not just no 2, 3 people. This is two full cast, two full crews, and just just very, very, very approachable. So I was grateful for that, man. It was just a great experience. I actually haven't had a moment to ponder on it until you just asked me that, and I was just remembering how much fun I had. And I know COVID got some negative parts, but I would rather shoot like that, kind of like to live, because it's like a vacation. You get to just kind of get away, and you get to just zone into your work. That's all you there to do. You can focus on your script, you can just zone in and ain't got no other worries. So it was really an amazing experience.
Man, I think that's dope, man. And as we are celebrating Black History Month, man, I think we gotta, always take hats off to Tyler Perry, who's always been innovative. But even while other movie studios are struggling to shoot, and they've had COVID outbreaks and all types of crazy stuff at Warner Brothers and some other studios, Tyler Perry, a black man in America, Tyler Perry Studios, they're doing what they're doing and haven't had uh, any COVID outbreaks or anything. They've been really, really smart about it, and I think that's revolutionary on so many levels, bro.
On so many levels, man. I totally agree. And yeah, he definitely is a part of Black history, just how he keeps us working.
Yeah,
It's very evident he doesn't need the money, right? He's in the billionaire club. So for him to be risking his health and taking time out to work and allow us to work is, you know, him continuing to provide opportunities for us. And he's definitely an inspiration. And I'm the first to take up for one when people say whatever they want to say. Whether you want to say it and whether it's true or false, one thing I see consistently in him is that he cares about the culture. He cares about giving people opportunities that are not getting
thanks.
the opportunities. He cares about helping you have a better life. You know what I mean? Using all his resources and platform and the opportunity God's given him to help people. So he's definitely a big part of Black history, and I pray he feels the love. I don't know.
Absolutely.
We work together and you say thank you and stuff, but I hope that he really can, in his time by himself, that he feels appreciated, because I definitely appreciate him.
I think in a lot of ways he does. I'm a writer, so as if I'm writing stuff, I think the greatest appreciation I can get from somebody that I hire to write for me, I mean, being a show or something, is for them
Mhm.
to one enjoy themselves and put all of them into it, and so to see all that materializes, I think that's, man. I know a lot of times I can go back and watch a show that I wrote and just saw and see how people just put their all into it, and man, that's a great appreciation, man. And so I've watched the show, man. That you guys are working really hard. You all are bringing the funny. Um, and so let me ask you this: we're celebrating Black History Month. Who is somebody from Black history that has inspired you as a comedian, inspired you as a man, as a father? Who is someone that has inspired you to keep being progressive, keep being open minded, keep pursuing your dreams? Who is a figure that have inspired? It's probably multiple, I'm sure.
Yes, it is multiple. And I feel like when I'm on live or social, I feel like somebody's gonna see this and be like, "Man, you didn't mention me." Somebody, not that they would say that, but they would feel it, and I do appreciate them. Um, the first person that came to my mind is two people that came to my mind is Dwayne Wade and LeBron
Mm,
James, and there's many other people that are not necessarily celebrities that come to mind. Um, but the reason more so Dwayne and LeBron is the people who's used their platform for good, who's went on a limb to speak about issues that may not even put them in a positive light, may take some endorsements away, may cost them money, may cost them opportunities. Colin Kaepernick is another one that comes
absolutely.
to mind. You got to be willing to die for it when you believe in something, right? Hashtag Martin Luther King. And so when I see people who put their money where their mouth is, who use their platform for good, I think they're a big part of Black history and of our today. You know,
Absolutely.
can you look today? I know we have all the people that's built the foundation and paved the way for us, and we're so in debt to them and give honor to them. But what are you doing today with what you have? And you may not be LeBron or Dwayne, but what you doing today with what you have? But I look at them, and I'm a huge LeBron James fan, a huge
Yep.
LeBron James fan, and it's on and off the court, but it's him as a father, it's him as Dwayne Wade as a father, him fighting for custody of his kids, um, and there's a lot of rhetoric around him and his daughter, or I don't know, I guess that's what we call her now, um, and just having like I was talking to a friend of mine who's a Christian. I'm a Christian. He's saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, and we were talking
Yeah.
about that conversation as it related to his parenting, Dwayne Wade's parenting, and I was just like, you don't understand how, and this goes back to my jokes, but love, to love somebody, to respect somebody, to allow somebody a space to exist and not judge them, and just to deal with something that nobody ain't never dealt with before, and to try to handle it the best way you know how. And we judge people, but I just think that I looked at him prior to that, just how he's existed. I read his book and the custody battle he went through with
Yeah.
his kids, as I am in the presence going through stuff like that. And so just to see his care for his kids, his heart for his kids, his desire to want them to have a better life with them, to try to give them the tools to be successful. Because I believe that in Black history, it's great to do stuff for the world, but it says charity starts at home first. So what are you doing for the people that's close to you? And you may not make all the right decisions, but how you pick that up, how you mend those pieces, how you pick up from that point matters. So I know I said a lot, but anyway, it's a lot of people I admire, but those are the people that came to my mind when you said it.
No, I think that's dope. I think, and that's cool, man, that we have those people that we can look to. And I so appreciate, I appreciate the Black experience. I definitely appreciate our culture, all the things that Black people, our parents and mothers and grandfathers have gone through to
Yeah,
make this country to make this country great. But to also to be an example for us to see, like you got to appreciate people like Richard Pryor and Red Fox who paved the way. Paul
yes,
Mooney definitely, because obviously if we didn't see it, we wouldn't know we can be it. And
that's
so
true.
the fact that they're out there and they've been just killing the game for years and years, it's a great, great inspiration. So thank you for sharing that. That's really, really dope.
Man, no problem.
Um, so what's next for you, Brewer? What's next? I know you're working on a show with Tyler Perry, bro. What's next for you? Are you working on another special you think you want to do, or what's next for you?
So I supposed to be fortunately was blessed to do a show prior to the bruh that was called Games People Play. Shout out to Tracy Edmonds, another amazing
Oh
Black
yeah.
woman doing something amazing in entertainment. Gave me my first opportunity. So I next month supposed to be possibly shooting the second season of that. Hey Chanel, that's my cousin right there. Thank you, cuz.
Hey,
Shout out to my cousin. I love her, man.
hey.
She got some talented children as well. She got these two my little cousins, the twins. They belong on TV for sure.
That's
But
what's up.
yeah. So I'm supposed to be filming the second season of that. I am trying to work on a second special, but not just getting on stage and trying to tour and build that hour to make it strong. Because I just really want to come hard. I really, stand-up comedy is important and one of my, my things. So I really want to come hard. Felt like I did a good job my first stand-up special. So my second stand-up special, I want to come as harder or harder if I can. So I am working on that, and I'm gonna be putting out a musical project this year, in the
Okay.
summer. Yeah, I sing. I don't know if you know that, and I produce
Come
and
on,
play.
come through, Barry.
I have one out right now. It's called Conquer Goliath on all platforms.
That's
Uh,
dope.
yeah, so I'm gonna put out another record this year. I'm really excited about that. Very excited about that. I'm really. It's called The Beautiful Monster. So it's gonna be an R&B record, but it's gonna be talking about life
Hey,
and love. So, um,
bro. That's dope, man. Listen, I am working on a an R&B album as well. I'm gonna have one inspirational song, but it's R&B. It's all R&B, and it's in the same vein: light, love, positivity, positive vibes, and yeah, man. So
yeah,
I'm gonna be sending you some stuff. Like, what you think, man? What you
please.
think? What you think?
Oh, I would love to hear it, bro. Please send it. Please send it.
Absolutely, man. Listen, Barry, thank you so much for doing this, man. I appreciate you. I know you're busy. I know you have a lot going on, but I appreciate you taking time out of your Thursday to hang out with me, bro. This has been amazing.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me, man. I
Man,
appreciate
this
you.
is dope, man. And listen, and since you brought it up, I want to play a little bit of let me pull this because I want to hear it. I want to hear the song. So on the album Conquer Goliath, what song should I play really quick?
You can play Conquer Goliath.
Conquer Goliath. Okay, dope.
Yeah, you can play
Let's
that
go,
record.
Barry. Your success lies in your ability to face your Goliath. To not be afraid to fight Goliath. Hey, walk up to the mountain and I hit Goliath running his mouth. Bricklayer. Come on, man. All about my building and this hater trying to tear me down. No fear, no retreat, you can feel it when the battle is near. It's clear, no surrender, I'ma conquer my giant right here. Please face my fears, keep on fighting, persevere. It may be Goliath wrong, but even giants fall. Hey, 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 hey. Goliath, conquer Goliath, don't be afraid of Goliath. Hey, conquer Goliath. Don't be afraid of Goliath. Hey, Goliath. Hey, don't be afraid of Goliath. Hey, Barry, that's dope, bro. That's dope, man.
Thanks,
That's lit,
man.
man.
Thank
Oh,
you,
thank
man.
you for doing that, man. That is dope. That is dope. So I'm gonna download this whole album, and everybody that's watching, go download Barry's album, Conquer Goliath. It's a whole album. It's
Thank you.
not just a song. It's a whole album. Download it. Go check out his special on Amazon or YouTube. Chicago, I'm home, and also you can check out Barry Brewer on BET Plus on the show on Tyler Perry's show, bruh. Man, listen, Barry. Thank you so much for being a part of Moments of Clarity, man. You're a whole vibe, man. I appreciate you
Thank
coming
you,
through
bro.
today for sure.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me on, bro. I really appreciate it.
Man, it's all love, bro, and I'll be reaching out to you, man, because we got some work to do. It seems like I
Let's
feel it. That just got me stirred.
like that. Let's get it.
Let's go, Barry. Listen, man,
All right,
enjoy the
bro.
rest of your Thursday, man. Have a great weekend. Hey,
Thank
guys,
you,
we'll see
bro.
you next time on Moments of Clarity. Have a great day. Take care.